One's newsletter. I am Sami, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about some amazing swing ideas for the week ahead. If you find benefit in today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. If you have any questions, leave a comment or send us an email, info@t3live.com. So we'll start off by going over the market. The list of ideas that I want to go over are here in the watch list, but there's a longer list in the video description. So if we look at the market, the QQQ, the Qs has had has put in a couple of lower highs, right? At least one, if not two, right? And then it's put in at least two lower lows, if not three. But it seems like this is all happening inside of a longer base, and we shouldn't read much into it, because if you look at what happened on Friday, I think it's significant. This was supposed to be the next lower high. So here's the highest high, lower high, supposed to be the lower high. And then, you know, if the trend was going to continue lower, we were supposed to break lower once we took out that doji bar. Instead, the Qs broke higher. And so unless the Qs negates this bar and we get a close below Friday's low, that tells me that this little downtrend basically is just a small pullback inside of a larger base, which is meaningless, is what I'm trying to say. If you also look at the SPY, that certainly does not look lower. I mean, if it was looking lower, Friday's bar kind of negated that bearishness. So again, barring a break and a close, not just a break, but a close of below Friday's low. In this case, not just Friday's low, we would really need to close below Thursday's low, okay, which is 681 on the SPY. On the Qs, it's just Friday's low, 599. Barring a break and a close below, we're just continuing to be sideways. We're continuing to be sideways with the Qs being the weakest and the IWM being the strongest, but in the overall grand scheme of things, it's actually, you know, it's uptrended the last few months, but the SPY looks kind of, you know, the best right now because it's been going sideways at the very top. So you think that will be the one to lead, but who knows? We'll see. In the meantime, we just have to wait for the market to kind of break out of its range, or to the upside or to the downside. But we just need to be patient until that happens, okay? As far as the ideas go, I think Bitcoin is interesting. Now, IBIT doesn't look exactly like the Bitcoin chart. It's weak, but went parabolic, and it's trying to put in a higher low. So that's what's interesting about it. It could be a moment in time where Bitcoin should be bought if you didn't already buy it on the climactic bottom. It could be, or it might not be, because the 20 MA is right there on the Bitcoin chart. This is IBIT, which has the overnight gap, so it doesn't exactly look like the Bitcoin chart. So there's IBIT, there's BSOL, which is Solana, that look higher, and it could be a moment in time because this is the higher low. Or if you think, you know, if you think it's not worth it because Bitcoin and Solana are at their declining 20, then don't give it a try. But it might be worth a shot, okay? I'm in both right now, but we'll see what happens. As far as non-Bitcoin, non-index related stocks, we have Cold, which I think is like a real estate stock, but here's where I like it. I like the gap on the daily chart on Thursday, and I like the hourly pullback and the double top. So if it takes out 1355, I like it higher with a stop under about 1320 on the Cold. Docs, I got it on this day, sold it, and I just found out yesterday that I actually still had 150 shares because I forgot that I added to it that day. And so when I put in the order for 500 shares, I apparently had another 150 shares. So I have the docs, but I still like it higher if it can take out $26, basically. The reason why I like it is because the daily is pretty extended, but I also like the monthly a lot on that big drop to support. So, but only if it takes out $26. I think solar is pretty interesting. I don't like the idea of getting into solar on Monday, but I think it's pretty interesting. The SEDG, if you look at the monthly chart, that's a nice monthly chart. If it can hold that higher low and that curling 20 MA, that's a nice monthly chart. The ENPH doesn't have as good of a monthly, but it has a decent looking daily over 4720. So these are not for Monday, but these are things to watch for the rest of the week. The EVRG is a daily buy setup with a big bottoming tail. It's a big stop too, over 80.75 by 78.60. I didn't take the, I think it's COHR. I didn't take the COHR. That's the one. Buy setup because of the size of the stop, even though I really liked it because of the big rounded base on the hourly chart. I love it when there's that big rounded base. And it took off, as you can see. This is why I think, even though I was bearish on SanDisk up until recently, you know, if you look at the hourly chart and the rounded base, you just cannot, you know, that's like too bullish. Look at that rounded base. So I didn't do the COHR, and now this EVRG, I don't like it as much, but it looks pretty interesting. I said over 80.75. I would actually give it to 81.20. So over 81.15, over 81.20 is where I would enter. HLF has been on my list for quite some time because of that monthly transition, but it never really set up right, and it gapped up on earnings. The only place where it set up beautifully was right there. That's when I should have gotten it. But at any rate, right now it has like a 1, 2, 3 on the daily chart and an hourly base breakout. I like it. ICLR, I played it on that day. I said this is like an incredible novice gap. It was very, very wild. And when it started to roll over a little bit, I got out. And of course, it was a mistake. So now it's looking higher for a breakout. I don't love it because the base is slanted upward a little bit. It's not a straight flat base, but would be a long right here. Stop, I would put it under 87.50 and target the gap fill, which is about 130. We talk about NVIDIA all the time, and is it higher, is it lower? Well, this chart looks higher. It tried to break down multiple times right here, right there, and it got bought. And so what we have here is a big rounded base. So I like NVIDIA big time, higher. Probably NVIDIA will not break out and take out the top of the base until the market does. Or is it the chicken or the egg? Will the market follow NVIDIA? You know, maybe NVIDIA will lead and the market will follow it. So we'll find out. But I'm liking the NVIDIA as a longer term play. Oxy is oil, the same as HLF, same exact setup. It's a 1, 2, 3 long over that bar, stop under the doji bar. It's not a doji bar, it's a bottoming tail bar. Stop under it. The relay, same exact idea as the cold. You have to go to the hourly chart, and it has an hourly buy setup. It triggered already, but it's not too late. Right here, over whatever that shelf is. So that's 1730 with a stop under 1630, 1629. So it's about $1 stop. As far as targets, as far as the target for the play, I mean, it has room to $20, 20, maybe even more. But that would be the target. And then the TPR is a weekly 1, 2, 3. So I like it as a 1, 2, 3 play. So long over 158.30 by 149.40. As far as the shorts go, we got the ALAB, which is a weekly 1, 2, 3, but I wouldn't play it as a weekly 1, 2, 3. An entry on the 1, 2 on the weekly would be right here under the low, stop right there. You know, the stock would have to sell off hard for you to even just get in. Might as well play it off the daily. And so let me show you the daily. Switching back to the daily, it's a nice looking sell setup. I like it short under Thursday's low with a stop above Friday's high. Target on this one would be like $100 or here where it broke out from, so about $100. So it has plenty of room to the downside. I like the AVTR, had a professional gap on earnings, and then it's been basing, and I like it short under the base, stop above it. The entry is under the lowest point, and the stop is over 932. HIMS is the same kind of concept, but the base is slanted downward, but it's very, very weak, looks lower. MAT looks good as far as the big topping tail goes. So I like a short under Thursday's low, stop above it. The problem is when the stop is huge, it reduces the reward to risk. This is your risk, which is the difference between your entry price minus your stop price. And then this is your target, the difference between your entry price minus your target price. So the ratio is called the reward to risk. So it's not huge because the size of the stop. Otherwise, it's a pretty good setup. PGY and RPD are exactly like the HIMS and the AVTR. Of these four, I'm going with one of these four for Monday as a short. If you're a subscriber to the Number One's newsletter, if you feel free to log on to your T3 Live account, and you will see what setups and what symbols I picked for us for Monday. For the rest of you, if you want to figure out how to join me, check out the link in the video description. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end. Again, I'm Sami Absad with T3 Live. I wish you the best of trading, the best of luck with your trading next week, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.